Hello, my name is Benjamin Z. Meller, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about some of the advantages of real estate syndication, and I'm also going to discuss how a typical multifamily syndication might work. First of all, the advantage of a real estate syndication over another syndication is there's a real asset that is being purchased. So real estate historically has had a bit lower risk than investing in, say, a company. A company that is, say, providing a good or service that's, like a software company, something like that. They have a relatively high failure rate. But real estate, even if it doesn't go so well, it's unlikely to completely go to zero, unlike a software company, which could. So that's one advantage of a multifamily syndication is the actual asset itself. Second advantage is you get the benefits of over time, the real estate goes up in value. There's also cash flow that's distributed. Um, Another thing that's good is you get the ability, once you find a group that you like working with as a limited partner, you get access to more and more deals and opportunities. So sometimes people ask about, well, why not just do a REIT, a real estate investment trust? They're more liquid if it's a publicly traded REIT. Yes, they are more liquid if it's a publicly traded REIT, but the downside to that is REITs have a requirement that 90% of the profits be paid out as dividends. So yeah, you might get some dividends on it, but a lot of the advantages that you get where at exit there's a sale of the asset, the potential payoff typically is not as high on a REIT due to the fact that the fees are much higher. So let's go through how a typical real estate syndication deal is done for a multifamily property. The first thing that happens is a sponsor is going to find a property and put it under contract. Now, the sponsor is the one that knows about apartment investing. Typically, they have experience in apartment investing, they've done deals before, they're educated in the area of apartment investing. So the sponsor will usually form a limited liability company. Sometimes they'll form maybe a limited partnership, but normally a limited liability company is the most common. Then they will have a law firm or their lawyer put together a private placement memorandum. And that private placement memorandum, it's going to basically lay out all of the rules for the investment, the way that it's structured. It's going to disclose the risks. It's legal requirement. If anything is required to be filed by the SEC, it will be filed. Then the next step is the sponsor is going to go to the bank and they're going to present their contract. They're going to obtain financing, a commitment for financing, where they are going to talk to the bank and say, look, here's the property that I want to buy. Give me, how much of a down payment do I need? The bank's going to say, well, based on these financials, based on your track record as a sponsor, based on our lending parameters, you need $1 million for a down payment, for example, or 500,000 or whatever it is. Then once that is determined, the sponsor will actually go through, talk to the investors, the limited partners, raise the money, and finally the deal will be closed when there's enough money to cover the down payment and the closing costs at the title company. Going forward, the sponsor then manages the investment. The sponsor is typically called the general partner, and the passive investors are called limited partners. So the sponsor may not directly manage the apartment complex. He may have a property management company do that, but he will manage the property management company typically. And then the exit strategy is at the end of the deal, the one exit strategy that's common is the apartment complex is sold. Another is there's a refinance, a cash out refinance after the net operating income has been increased. That's done by decreasing the vacancy, increasing the amount of rents. All these factors come into play. So that basically is how it works. I hope that you find this video helpful. If you are interested in apartment investing and you don't have the time and you don't want to go through all of the gory detail in terms of learning the ins and out of the apartment investing business, you just like the idea of the passive income and then the big payday when the apartment complex is sold or when it's refinanced, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'll be happy to chat with you about it. I work with some of the best sponsors in the industry, the most experienced. I have opportunities that are available that after we establish a business relationship, I can tell you about. So I encourage you to reach out to me if this is something you'd like to learn more about. Thank you so much.